Hey guys, this is James.
And this is Denny from TeaDB bringing you guys episode 241. It's a little bit of it's definitely a gloomy day outside in Seattle. And we're going to have some aged Dahongpao to manage the shitty
And
weather.
afterwards we'll have a crying session for a bonus episode of TeaDB.
Yeah.
And then we'll boil those tears and we'll steep our next tea in seasonal affective disorder.
I like this.
It makes pretty terrible tea, guys. Yeah.
This is an in-depth project that we're about to...
I know.
Alright, so I have no idea how much leaf I'm going to use for this. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. But I had this at home and thought it was pretty yummy, and so, yeah. Put a little bit in here first, and then I'll give the dry leaf to James. And I don't add too much for this.
Yeah. So we are having some aged wooey. It smells very dark.
Yeah.
Probably charcoaly. It smells pretty sweet, maybe a little chocolatey on the nose.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine this tea is pretty on the mellow end.
Yeah, but it's for a wooey tea, it has a surprising amount of action, which is kind of interesting. So that's sort of why I brought it on. I think it has a little bit of kind of a floral vibe too, more so than some of the other wooeys that don't really have too much of those sorts of notes. And I hope I'm not understeeping this.
Well, you can add more if you need to.
Smells good. It has sort of those cinnamon spice smells on the nose, the cup. So
this is probably a very seasonally appropriate tea, I gotta imagine, and like this dark aged.
Yeah, I think you could probably drink this whenever you really want to, but these sorts of flavors are kind of comforting and not. Let's be real. It's not like it's harsh outside. It's just kind of like gloomy. But I like these sorts of flavors in the wintertime for sure, or approaching the wintertime. I guess we're in the wintertime now. When does winter officially start?
December sometime.
Got it. All right. Well, cheers to it almost being winter.
Cheers, guys.
It's just so sweet.
It is, yeah. You definitely still taste the roast in it, but it's actually pretty nicely balanced in. I get some of that floral characteristic that you were talking about.
It's more so than like your typical like really rock tasty, mineral-y wooey tea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the roast is actually nicely subtle. I think it's probably due to the aging of this. It's kind of cooled off a little bit. And I'm not using too much leaf here. One thing I did notice about this tea was that it does last, it definitely will go for quite some time as well. I don't know anything really about the history of this tea per se. I don't know if it's been re-roasted or anything like that.
Yeah, I'd imagine if it was either re-roasted or it had a pretty strong roast in the first place, just because we can taste it. I don't know how old it is either, so who knows? It has a very vague aged Dahongpao level to it, so
it has a little bit of that aged taste, but actually I think that wooeys inherently have more of that aged taste naturally as well. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I could taste it blind. I would know that this isn't aged.
Pretty nice aroma. Some of that fruit and stuff coming in. I like these wooey teas because they're usually pretty dynamic too, so they can be a pretty fun session. I don't know.
Yeah, let's keep going. Again, this is one of those teas that surprisingly like vivid and sweet.
Yeah.
And kind of atypical as a result within that category. So I wouldn't expect something like super sweet, like a super sweet white tea or like a super sweet oolong tea, Taiwanese green oolong tea. But this is within the wooey category.
Right. Yeah, it has a very different sweetness than like you would get from those Taiwanese oolongs that are very green.
Yeah. I might be underbrewing this a little bit in terms of the leaf amount, but because the texture isn't catching up quite yet. but it's
you still get the flavors.
Yeah, evolving to a little bit more like a leathery vibe.
I'd imagine this tea would be pretty good grandpa style as well.
Actually, yeah, good point.
Nice sweetness that stays. There's no roughness to this tea whatsoever. No bitterness, astringency, or anything like that.
A little bit of creaminess now.
Yeah.
This is one of those nice teas to have in the wintertime, approaching wintertime, and yes.
So what do you say to all those moms out there, Denny? Is this a mom test? Does this pass the mom test? Or?
I think so. Yeah, why not?
It'd be. I feel like this would be like
sweet enough.
It's like this is not like a difficult tea to sell to somebody, but to have them drink it, I should say. But it might be interesting enough and different enough that it'd be a fun one to have with people that are newer to tea. Mix it up.
I agree. This does have those sort of like roasted. This is like a really good version of like that super shitty like roasted oolong that I used to drink from like Awajimaya.
Okay.
That has that like red box. Did I tell you that I was in Poland and I went to a tea house in Poland and I saw that and was like, this is the shitty tea I drank when I was growing up. And the lady was like, yeah, it's really bad. Like, and they had such good tea.
Yeah,
we brought one of their teas onto the show.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Chiognia or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is like the good version of that.
Yeah.
Is my point.
Okay, there you go.
It has those like traditional roasted oolong, restaurant oolong.
Yeah, so this is like
flavors in
the
it.
souped up restaurant oolong.
Right.
If like a restaurant really wanted to raise their game and probably serve tea that's too good for them.
Yeah,
then
this actually has balance and like
Yeah.
it's dynamic and has character. So I just reheated the water, and I'm not gonna overdo the steep time here. As a result, and I think that I probably am underbrewing this in terms of the leaf amount at this point, but I don't really want to mess with it too much.
Right.
You could probably your mileage will vary, I'd say.
Yeah, and we'll see that it'll probably suffer a little bit in terms of longevity, but I mean, I don't know. I think it's fine. If you just want to get a few steeps out of it, then I think this is a good way to go. Maybe half the Gaiwan is filled right now.
Even a little bit less.
Yeah.
It's got a really sweet aroma too.
It does, yeah.
Cheers. This is numero cuatro, number 4.
Cheers, guys.
It has this like that really saccharine, sugary finish. It's really just sweet, and kind of like boringly so almost. I mean, not in a bad way, but it is just really sweet. But there's like a lot of like subtle notes going on. A little bit of leather, a little bit of creaminess, some of those sort of like baking cinnamon spices, hints of some floral stuff. The fruit part, it's like really subtle. It's like, kind of like a tart juice. Sort of a thing going on, but really yummy.
Yeah,
I'm just going on.
Yeah, I can't beat that description, guys. I think it's sort of veering towards those more softer, mellow flavors that wheat teas tend to have as they brew out. A little bit of wheat grain in addition to the flavors Denny mentioned.
Yeah, really lovely.
Losing its aroma, so it's probably just about spent, I think.
So, James, if folks wanted to come and, I guess, grab some of this stiff, where should they go?
Yeah, so they should go check out Cha Ceremony. I know Marcus, the guy over there, he sells a number of wheat teas. I think we brought one on a couple of years back, actually. So this tea, Denny sampled it, decided it was worth bringing back onto the episode. So,
thank you.
So, yeah, you check them out. Good place to drink those sorts of teas. It's not a tea that it's kind of a specialty tea to some extent.
Yeah.
So check those guys out. Check us out at TeaDB.org. Hit that subscribe button down below. We are releasing weekly videos, and we will see you guys next time.